you've been to some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. I'll sit down, I'll sit down, I'll sit down, sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 in sympathy.
Evening, everyone. Evening. Esteemed panel here tonight. Proper Arsenal. Diesel will hopefully be joining us as soon as he can. He's stuck on traffic at the M25, which is no surprise at this time of day. I'm just looking at that intro there, guys. We haven't got one player in our team that is anywhere near any of them. Not one. Not one. And I'm just thinking, this is how low Arsenal Football Club has dropped. Anyway, DJ, mate, thanks for joining. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, slightly over. Well, hard to say whether I'm over last night or not, really, because it was a massive game for us all. I know the Carabao Cup wasn't on everyone's lips at the start of the season, and we've got bigger fish to fry. But where we've ended up and the position we're in, this cup suddenly became very, very important. Mm. And last night was just bringing the kind of cherry to the top, really, because there's lots and lots of problems in this team. Yeah. There's players there that look confused. There's players there that have been tactically used in different methods every single game. It changes. Rice in midfield changes on a weekly basis. I know you can say injuries and we miss Saka and everything else, but at the start of the season, that should have been penciled in as a plan for the season. You're going to get players injured. So there should be a plan in place. For example, if we lose player X, have we got player Y to come in and do a job? And the problem is that's not all been in all the planning. So now what's happening is that you're getting a knock-on effect of all the mess that we're in now, and it is coming to a head now. So it's quite depressing. And I said to you before we went live, it's the style of football as well. It's gone overnight. It hasn't just sort of, it's slow, it's lethargic, it's predictable, it's easy to play against. And all these things now are quite worrying. And that's why when we've lost 2-0 yesterday, I really can't see any way of us turning that around. Whereas a couple of seasons ago, you take it on the chin, you lose, and you think to yourself, well, okay, at least I can see where we might be able to get something out of the game on, but I can't see it. I really can't see it. We could have still been playing now, and we weren't never going to score.
No, I totally agree. Kenny, you were at the game, as was DJ. Freezing cold night. You made the effort. You got there. You turned up, wrapped up like the Michelin Man, and you saw that pile of shit, mate. How you doing, Kenny?
Yeah, what's happening is that I just hope that in this kind of adversity that we're experiencing at the moment, that we have some proper discussions, footballing discussions, not the usual ones about the manager, but about some of the personnel as well. We have to have a discussion about Declan Rice. And whether he's part of the problem. We have to have a discussion about Havertz, whether he's part of the problem. And most importantly, we have to admit what we suspected and what few of us have said over the last 4 years, that we're a one-man team. That team is built for Bukayo Saka. You know how, Guardiola's Barcelona pre, Deco and pre Ronaldinho was Messi's team. Well, this team is Saka's team. So without Saka, there isn't really much, je ne sais quoi in the team. There isn't other players who can win you a match. We're always going to be difficult to beat. Right now, our most creative weapon is set pieces. How did we get there? We got there because the manager, hasn't been able to, create a style of play where there's a plan B and a plan C. And most importantly, he doesn't know what to do with two expensive signings. He's basically made us lopsided and weaker in the midfield. Our midfield is the biggest issue out there. And sadly, you're going to hate me for saying this, all three of you. Getting a striker is the least of our worries now. And that's all down to the manager because of the fact that we've got massive problems at left back, got problems at left wing. And we've got to get a backup Saka because I tell you now, you get your striker, I promise you, he's going to need, creative output from the team. He's not going to get it. The way we play is a case for a good Goikarest who can basically create something out of nothing, or Isak creates something out of nothing. This team is built around playing through the lines, slow build up, and basically being precise. Isak needs the ball early. How many does Mikel play football that demands you get the ball early? I haven't seen it under Mikel.
No, I told Matty. You did a watch along for it, mate. As I was watching it, it was pretty shocking, mate. How you feeling, buddy?
I did something I don't normally do. I went back last night as I was laying in bed. I went back and watched the watch along last night, which is very rare, and not just to get the feel. And brother, that's the first time I had major head loss like that. Especially when Kai Havertz missed that header. But as Kenny just stated, we've got to have a discussion.
Shoulder. Yeah.
We've got to have a discussion about the personnel at the football team. And Kenny, I had a discussion this morning with some chaps, and I told them, I said, this team is built for when you're in 8th and 7th place. This is a team that gets you into the Europa League that could possibly get you a 4th place Champions League spot. And we've been parading around here. Our fan base has been parading around here as if this is the absolute best. Let's just call it like it is. We overachieved the last 2 years. We overachieved, especially in the Champions League last year. And now we're coming back down to reality. This manager had the same look on his face that we've seen time and time and time again last night, General. And time again. Every time we played Newcastle, it's the same old rinse and repeat. Nothing changes. I mean, it was just absolutely shocking last night. I'm going to be frank. Y'all have heard me say this before. But this has got to be at least Kenny and Jez and JB. Diesel, what's going on, brother? You got to at least have heard me say this 5 times. That was the worst I've seen us play this year.
True.
Now, how's it that I keep going back every couple of weeks, Jez, and keep going, that's the worst I've seen. That's the worst I've seen. That's the worst I've seen. It's getting worse and worse, by the way. It's the worst. And here we go. We find another way to get worse than what we've done before. But that yesterday was one of the most toothless displays I have ever seen. That was closer to the year we finished 4th and 5th, went from 4th to 5th as I've seen this year. That was extremely close. We absolutely didn't even show up to play yesterday in a cup semifinal to win a trophy that was right there, that was attainable. This manager should have been sacked on the spot right there on the pitch.
Well, that was something I'm going to come on to, actually, because Diesel, mate, glad you made it. Got out of the traffic.
Yeah, sorry I'm late, mate. Yeah.
Don't worry about that, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm just buzzing to be on the stream with Matt. It's been way long, mate. It's
hey, bro.
DJ, hope you're well, mate. Good, Kenny. Love you, mate. Hope you're well. And
at the top there, top man.
Yeah. Nice.
Hello, Dees. You all right, mate? Nice to meet you.
Bad, mate. Not bad.
Good,
not bad.
good.
Yeah, I'll
Good,
stop
good,
crying now, mate. I'm all right now.
See, Diesel, yeah, but you should know by now. Never go on the M25 between 5 and 7.
No, you know what? So I had a meeting and it was due to end at R3 and it went over. So yeah, and obviously
Still applies, mate. Don't go.
One of the guys in the meeting was a Newcastle fan, so you can imagine I'm getting ripped, right? So yeah, but I was on the phone to Frank and the Samaritans all night. I'm fine now, but last night was a bit tough for me, boys. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm right. Yeah.
Let's get into this, guys. Let's get into this. I just want to, I just want to put this to bed, right? Let's talk about the football, shall we? Right? I saw on the Instagram, the WhatsApp group, this football that Arteta's crying about, has been used all throughout this competition. So it's not the first time the players have played with this football, right? Now, these are professional footballers. They're professional players. They should be able to play with any bloody football. We talked about it last night, DJ, back in the day when we were kids, all of us growing up. The leather football, pigskin with a bladder in it, laces on the outside. You try to avoid that, you were a kid when it was in the winter, it'd knock you out. How many times have all of us come in from a game of football, you got lace marks on the front of your head? It started off weighing 16 ounces. By the end of a wet football match, that weighed about 2 bleeding pounds. Now, that football last night, right, was filled with helium, right? Somebody was taking the piss to make it even lighter. What is this man on, DJ? What is he talking about?
I just think that when a manager is struggling, for ideas and he's run out of tactical nous, they'll blame anything. I mean, you've seen managers in the past; they've come out with all sorts of crap when their backs against the wall. He's probably looking at that. He's probably thinking to himself today, how embarrassing, because you can't blame the football. There was nothing wrong with the football when we walloped Crystal Palace. It was the same ball being used. It was the same ball being used when we won in the previous rounds. So it's not the ball. It's definitely not the ball. The players have got to. I personally think now it's got to the time where he's come to the end of the road and he's kind of trying to get back what he did have, and he hasn't got the personnel in place to do it. And it goes back to the summer window. It goes back to the summer window where the right players wasn't signed, and he hasn't got the personnel. I mean, I'll give you an example. Our backup currently at the moment for Saka with Wanyeri out is Marquinhos, and no one's seen him. No. Our backup for Odegaard is Fabio Vieira. Our other midfield is Rice, Mourinho, and Danny Ceballos has gone, but they're all these signings. Our backup for Partey is was Sambi Lokonga. Well, he's gone. Jorginho, and then the right backs he's signed in the past is Cedric Suarez, Tommy Asu, Timber and White. The left backs, Calafiore, Sinchenko and Tavares when he had Tierney at the team. And look at the goalkeepers he's signed. Raya, Ramsdale, Turner, Ronaldson, Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
And now Neto. Now, on the other side, he's back up to Martinelli, is Trossard and Sterling. So there's no personnel there. So as I said to you before, it is all now coming to a head. It's all going south. It's all going wrong. So now he's coming out with excuses about the football. He'll make other excuses. I would respect him more if he came out and said, I've got it wrong. I didn't do this, this and this. I didn't plan for this, this and this. he would probably get some sort of level of respect from everyone. But he never comes out. I think at one point yesterday in his post-match interview, he was more or less blaming the fans for leaving early.
Yes, I'm going to come on to that.
Now, he's blaming the football, which is absolutely scandalous, which is ridiculous. And now he's blaming the fans for leaving early. Because what he's saying is, if the fans had stayed, we might have scored. Well, you can't put that on the fans. The fans have been behind him pretty much from day one. And there's still a large amount of fans that are behind him now. And it's all right saying, oh, we need to sign, we need to make a signing in January. But the style of football we're playing and the personnel we've got in place, it's not going to be effective enough.
But
it really
DJ, you go, you've been going for 50 plus years. Kenny goes week in, week out for years and years and years, 40 plus years at least, right? If not more, right? Do you actually think, I'll quickly ask you this, DJ, and I'll ask exactly the same 2 points about the ball and the fans to Kenny, right? Do you think those fans that have heard that are going to say, well, fuck you, Arteta? Why should we back you when you...
It's embarrassing. Coming out with... he's the manager of our football club, right? He's the manager of our football club. Now, when you're coming out with statements like that, you're embarrassing the badge, you're embarrassing the fans, you're embarrassing everything about this football club. So you can't come out with statements like the ball and it's it flies here and it flies there. Yeah, all balls are slightly different, but the main it's just crazy. It really is. And I think he's just now really clutching at straws. I think he's a man now where he's feeling under pressure. The team he put out last night showed you how much he's desperate for a trophy. And it all went wrong. It all went wrong. He's now finding excuses now to go, well, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I sign this one? Why haven't I strengthened here? Why haven't I strengthened there? So all of this now is excuse after excuse. And there's going to be more. There will be more excuses from this manager.
Well, I think see that at the weekend, mate. Kenny, football, bullshit talk for me. And as a seasoned, I mean this nicely, you're a seasoned fan, right? Don't you take that as a bit of a smack in the mouth from when the manager turns round to you and says, well, fans leaving early, that's affected the game? Bollocks. It's your shit football, mates, affected the game, Kenny. I think it's a disgrace to say that to seasoned football fans. I'm not talking about young fans that have only been going for just a little bit, right? I'd take that as a personal bloody insult.
First and foremost, when you talk about the ball, he wasted a good opportunity to keep his mouth shut. If someone asks you a question that ridiculous about a football, what you do is you refuse to answer the question. You get the conversation back to the match.
Facts.
And you felt your team played, and even talk about refereeing decisions. You must. You don't need to talk about the ball. Why did you react to that? Because the story shouldn't have been about his remarks about football and how he's made it all about him again. The story was, we got beaten comfortably by Newcastle. Yeah. Don't buy into the possession stats, whatever you do. 68% possession. With that 68% possession, how many times did we get in behind Newcastle's back line? I'm waiting. Not very often. With the amount of chances we created, only 3 were on target. Let's talk about the set pieces. Let's talk about how we thought it was a good idea to concentrate on set pieces when you've got 6'7" Dan Burn and 6'4" Sven Botman, who love defending. And you've got a team that's organised as Newcastle. I mean, 3 weeks ago, when we played Everton, we played set piece FC. So it seems like Mikel Arteta didn't want to talk about that. In terms of fans leaving, well, what's he expects? It's a Carling Cup crowd. Respectfully, the majority of people who go to Carling Cup games get the opportunity to go to those games because people like myself and DJB don't go to those games mostly. Rather have better things to do. We don't want to be forking out a lot of money to see anything but our first team. So the people who go to those games are people with families. There was a family behind me. A father took his little kid and she had to stand in a chair to watch the game. It was bitterly freezing. Of course they're going to leave. He needs to, understand that. And he knows this anyway. It's just deflecting away from his bad management of his squad. There's loads of questions that are now going to be asked now. His friends in the media are deserting him. They're asking questions about the style of play. Jay Ragnat, for one, talking about the style of play. I spoke to Martin Keown yesterday. I said, Martin Keown, at half time, I said, this ain't on, Martin. I'm not having this. And he was in, yeah. I had a discussion with Adia and Durham after the match. I said, when you bring back the Daily Arsenal? And then we decided to have a 10, 15-minute conversation about everything was wrong. So it's one of those things where there's an undercurrent of feeling there, and we've come to a realisation we're one man side with Bukayo Saka. You think about the Brighton game when we're under the cosh. You always felt if Bukayo Saka was in the team and he got a chance to nick it, he's that player. Yesterday, if we needed that goal to take some, a bit of hope into the tie at Newcastle, Bukayo Saka's that player who can get that chance. But he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to explain to the fans why his whole tactical makeup depends on one player. Now that player's injured, we've got nothing left. He doesn't want to talk about left backs, centre halves playing at left back. He doesn't want to talk about the fact that he hasn't got the nuts to do something about the left-hand side. I mean, if you're Raheem Sterling, no matter how low your stock is, if you see the kind of garbage from Martinelli week in, week out and the nonsense that you see from on a regular basis from Trossard, you'd be thinking, you think this is April Fool's. That's the whole problem. There's some serious issues now that have been exposed. We've gone backwards. He's created a problem with Declan Rice. We have to have a conversation about this player and decide whether this guy has made us any better. And admit that what we saw last season was short-termism, but in the long term, he's going to cause more harm to our team than any good. Can't just talk about Kai Havertz and dig him out which is basically stating the obvious when you're not having a discussion about Declan Rice. Declan Rice, I know West Ham fans are watching this. Arsenal fans like to say, Declan Rice, we got him half price. I say we got him for twice the price.
Yeah,
and a bit more. And he declared for the Republic of Ireland instead of England, we probably would have got him for about 40 or 50 million. And the reason why we paid £105 million is England tax. And we need to have the ability amongst ourselves and across the fan base to question him. Stop singing silly songs about the guy. Stop silly songs about Havertz. It's like a kid in the balls. Because basically, they are part of the problem. You can't tell me our midfield has got any better these two. Right. It's got worse. They've made it worse. And the manager hasn't got the balls to substitute when they're ineffective. Yesterday, because it was easy to say to get rid of Thomas Partey, oh, he's in his 30s, his legs are gone. But Declan Rice was having a mare. The only time I noticed he was playing is when he was on the set pieces. Apart from that, I didn't know he was playing in the first half. Kai Havertz, only Kai Havertz is going to duck when a perfect cross comes in when he's 2 yards out.
He thought the goalkeeper was coming for it. He ducked out.
I mean, we played Kai Havertz because we thought he'll be able to deal with the physical presence of Dan Burn and Botman, and he bottled it. He bottled it like the coward he is. But the biggest coward we have in our fan base, in the team or in the football club is the manager. He's an absolute coward. He's a coward. He hasn't got the nuts. He hasn't got the ability to put his nuts on the table and just say, I've got a problem here. I can't play Kai Havertz and Declan Rice in his team. It's disrupting the flow of my play. It's making my midfield weaker. But he hasn't got the balls to do that. So instead of he'll play Partey at right back. In order that he doesn't disrupt that team. Anything but dropping Declan Rice and Kai Havertz is a no-no. That's not a manager. That's just a weak man. Weak as piss.
Matty, I mean, yeah, I mean, same to you, mate. I mean, you know, blaming the football. You're a coach. You were a football coach, right? You know, blaming the football man. What's going on here? What is going on? These are professional footballers, man. And you got this idiot manager blaming the football.
He's clutching at straws, man. I mean, JB said it. I mean, the walls are closing in. I keep telling y'all in these crime movies, you watch these crime movies like Scarface, American Gangster, all these that when there's a downfall of the crime boss.
Thanks.
And I told y'all it started with the transfer window. That was the downfall.
Yeah.
It actually started last year. Kai Havertz in that window that Kenny's referring to. And it's been a consistent tirade of failure. Last year we played Newcastle. Anybody notice that every time we play Newcastle, he finds an excuse and lose to him? Every single time is an excuse. Last year it was VAR. This year it was VAR. This go around. Now it's the ball. The ball. The same ball that Preston played with, the same ball that Bolton played with, the same ball that we ran the score up on Crystal Palace. Even Eddie Nketiah found a way to make the ball work for him. Now all of a sudden he wants to say it's the ball. This joker here needs to be moved up out of here. It is time for this to be this whole thing to be done. People are waking up to it. It took them long enough. Welcome to the party. We've been telling y'all for the longest that this manager doesn't have a clue. Kenny, you left somebody out there in that tirade there. Oh, Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard again. Another game, 2 assists since April, since he's been back on. He's supposed to be back creating everything. 2 assists. Can't find an assist. Can't buy one. He's too weak, too small. Needs to be moved on. It's time to just start calling this for what it is. We have a bunch of players that are not up to what we need to be done at this football club. 5 years into a project. Whether people want to face the facts or not, we are not there. And everybody keeps going on. I've even heard people this morning start talking about this Champions League. Throw that out your head too. We ain't winning no Champions League. As soon as we get over into that, we'll be out the first round. Whoever we play is probably going to dump us out on our head on the first round. This team is not set up. Jez, I have been saying it, and you know I have been saying it all year long. This team was not set up to compete on any level this year. This is why Edu is not here. He saw the writing on the wall before everybody else. He got up out of Dodge. Now this manager's still sitting there. And now this manager's looking around. He's complaining. He even came out last night and said that Isak that's the kind of class you need. Brother, you could have bought him. You could have bought him. He was there for you. Instead, you're out there dropping 50 million plus on Jesus. Yeah. Jesus. Then you come back around and then you go drop more money on Havertz. All of the strikers, everybody keep talking about they want to come to the club in this window. All players that were available. Ivan Toney. Diesel, you know this. You know, you've heard me say that. Ivan Toney was sitting there wide open last year. They said, no, we don't want him. Why? Because he's got a big personality. And I told y'all, anybody that knows anything about football, anybody that's been around the block a few times, anybody that's established, they're going to come in here and see this foolishness. And they're going to go, oh, no, this ain't going to work. I know it didn't work out, but look at William. What did William say? He said the manager told him one thing. He looked around and saw what? Another thing. He said, nah, that's okay. Tap the contract. I'll go make money somewhere else. I'll go do something else. Look at the rumblings you heard about Aubameyang yesterday. Aubameyang's how he embarrassed Aubameyang. He told him one thing, then turn around and say a whole another thing. Look at Sterling. Kenny brought it. Look at Sterling. He said, now last week he said Sterling was hurt. Sterling was on the bench yesterday. Then during that game, there was nowhere Sterling could have came in and played, or either one or two things. You either lied about he was hurt, or either two, you just put him on the bench to be a prop. People are getting tired of this. Declan Rice out there with a broke toe, running around like with a broke toe. No, we know it's broke because you've already said it. You already said he's running around here with injuries, playing him out of position. all this stuff. Kai Havertz, you just make ways to find ways to put him in the team. Martinelli, we forgot about that. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper yesterday. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper yesterday. I guess the ball messed him up yesterday. I guess the ball went the wrong direction. I guess that was part of the problem why he couldn't score the ball. It was an absolute S show yesterday. I'm trying to keep it PG today. It was an absolute S show yesterday because it was an absolute joke. That performance from that football team yesterday. And I blame that manager. I blame this manager, Jez, because this manager knew what was at stake. This draw came out almost over a month ago. He knew that game was coming, Jez. And there's no way you can tell me as a former coach that you did not have your troops rallied, ready to go, and you could have gave them a speech. Hey, this is it. We got a chance to get a trophy. Build on this. We can move forward. Get some. It's still this is competition. Instills belief in your team that you can go on throughout the year and do something better. And instead, he wet the bed yesterday for everybody to see. He wet the bed. He's on the sidelines looking at Alpine Albert, looking at Carlos Cuesta. We out there trying to. I knew we was in trouble when we first started the game. How you know, man? We out there spamming crosses. Like I told y'all last night, I saw more crosses than the Vatican. I saw more crosses. It was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Every time you look up, crossing the box. No passage of play anywhere. Nothing. Did you look at Newcastle? You turn around and look at Newcastle. 1, 2, 3, pass, they in the box. One pass over top, they in the box. One pass over here, they in the box. 1, 2, 3, in the box. We was under siege. Our football has eroded. What all of us, all 5 of us have known as Arsenal's free-flowing, good-looking football, whether we win or lose, has been eroded by this match. We look like Blackburn Rovers out there tonight. That's what last night. That's what we look like. Blackburn, Bolton, Middlesbrough. Teams that normally we playing against the low block. That's what we look like. This manager has taken what the last identity of Arsenal Football Club was, and it has eroded it from us.
I totally agree, mate. I just very quickly did the chat before I come to Diesel. Marijan, thank you, mate. Massive big up to you, Jez, and the panel. Control freak, psycho Arteta needs to F off now. Would also love, Jez, to hear your opinion on who would win between the Invincibles versus George Graham's 1991 team. Do you know, that's fun, mate. I was last night after I went on the late night stream, the emergency meet with Lee. I was sitting here to about 4 a.m, pissed off, really upset about what happened. Do you know? And I was thinking, I'll do something new, something different. And I actually sat here and I thought, do you know, I'm going to get a 3 or 4 man panel on, and we're going to do that show. We are going to do that show.
That'd be brilliant.
The 91 team. Yeah, I think that'd be a great debate. Marijan, thank you very much, mate, for your super chat. Very kind, my friend. I will be doing that show very, very soon. Very soon. Diesel, mate, as always, thanks for joining. Great show you did the other night, by the way.
Thank you, mate.
Mate, I honestly think, this is just me and my opinion. I actually think we're in a worse fucking position now than when Arteta joined. We're in an absolute decline here. I mean, I've seen some shit Arsenal teams, as all of you boys have, right? Yeah, nearly got relegated, 74. I remember that one. Yeah, last game of the season, we scraped it, right? What is going on here, man? Someone has to take the blame. And I'm sorry, it's fully on the head of Arteta, because you can't keep blaming Edu, who's gone. He got out pretty damn quick. Rattley was sinking ship, right? And I can see why now, because obviously he knows what's going on behind the doors, yeah, backstage and all that. This is a bloody joke, man. All respect to Newcastle United. I've got a little bit of an affinity for Newcastle United. They're a great team, a great city, great fans. 6,000 of them rocked up last night. Yeah. On a Wednesday, on a Tuesday night.
Twice in a week, twice in about 3 or 4 days. So fair play to them, yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, I know the Arsenal faithful do it as well, mate. We're in a shit situation, and we're going south pretty damn quick.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny, right? Because we we say this week in, week out, right? You know, we don't ever defer or change like the winds, like some of these Arsenal fans do. Just very quickly, I just want to say this, right? On, I call him Michelle. I just can't call him by his real name. I can't help it. But the thing with Michelle, when he comes out and attacks the fans, there is a little part of me that loves it. I love that because you're giving yourself rope. Because when a manager goes against the fans, there's only one winner in that, and it's never the manager, right? So you carry on, my friend, carry on. Because there's a thin line between love and hate. That's an old school saying, right? So, you know, and that is a very thin line. But on the other hand, I look at it and I think, you arrogant bastard. When you think, you must feel so comfortable to be able to attack your own fans. You know, and it's like I keep saying, this man is he comes across to me like he's got. I thought Wenger had power. This is next level. This, you know, and honestly, it really is. At least Arsene Wenger, as much as I knocked the man, he did a lot for us. This guy's done nothing to warrant the amount of protection he gets. You know, and it's like I was saying to my dad, Jez. You know, when you look at the teams like in your intro, you know, teams of old. I saw men. Proper men. I look at this team now. I see little boys. I see Odegaard with a flick of the hair, and as much as we laugh and we joke about that, you can't tell me there's not opposition. Other clubs coming to face us who think, so who these pretty boys think they are. We're going to go out there and we're going to, you know what I mean. And that is what Newcastle do. That's their trick. Newcastle know all they got to do is rough us up, get in our faces, and we fold. It's as simple as that. And this stigma that we've always had about soft, you know, weak, you know, cowardice, that is exactly what we saw the other night. It's exactly what we saw last night. It's exactly what we saw, right? They can't sack out all this money that we spent. And I keep going back to it because money is a big factor. You can't spend that amount of money and not have one world-class player in that team. You can't,
exactly.
Right? And also other people, when they come to the likes of myself and you boys, fake fans. Well, hang on a minute. Well, hang on. Hold up a minute. These supposed super fans from that scumbag of a channel over there, they're the ones who always go on about our bigger fish to fry. We're the ones who actually say, Carabao Cup, I don't know, small or not, it's a trophy. Go and win it.
By the way, Diesel, mate. Ty says we're going to win 5-0 on the return leg. Sorry, mate. Please go on.
You know what? And this is why I say, right?
This is the problem with the club.
It is. And I know I sort of crossed the line, right, when I do my streams, but I generally mean this. There's over 255 people watching this right now. And I would advise any Arsenal fan who's got kids, do not allow your kids to watch that channel. And I genuinely mean that because I do fear for the next generation of these Arsenal fans coming up. If they're looking at people like Ty and that other prick Julian, right, and they're looking at these people, because we all know once the camera's off, they're probably saying the same thing that we are, right? Yeah. But because of licks, clicks and likes and all that, right? They want to try and fool you. What, you're trying to fool and trick your own people? Nah. I'm not into that, Jez. I'm not into that. Right? What's made it worse for Arteta? He's been winging it, and I've always said this. Right? He's not good enough. Yeah? He had the excuse because he went up against a great Man City side. Well, guess what? Man City aren't there anymore. He's got no excuses. And what's made it worse for him is now Liverpool, out of nowhere, are up there. He's got no excuses. There is nowhere to hide anymore. Earlier on, several weeks ago, he come out and said he counted the Community Shield. The minute he done that, I'll tell you something now. People can try and style it out, you know, try and back him, protect him, and say, oh, he was banter. Arteta don't do banter. He's not a banter man. Let's have it right. He meant that. And when a manager starts talking like that, that's when you know it's the end of the road. He's on borrowed time. So when you combine those two things, what he said about the Community Shields, and then blaming the ball, blaming it on the ball. Three things. And also having to go at the fans. This is a man who's feeling the pressure. He's got nowhere to hide anymore, Jez. You can't tell me Arnie Slot, who bought one player, hasn't played that player yet, right? If he wins this league, which in a way I hope they do, because this will highlight this guy. There is no excuse anymore, mate. He's running out of places to hide. And now it's getting on top. And now he's coming out saying these stupid things because he's feeling it. You know, so long may it continue. I'm telling you, I really do mean that.
Hey, y'all. Pit pockets, lemons, all this stuff this year. Foolishness.
I mean, it's Pikachu's obviously having a bit of a laugh here. We would be relegated if it wasn't for Arteta, fella. I mean, I think you're just having a laugh, but Arteta, mate, could get if he stays for another year, we could be relegated with this partnership, right? And somebody said to me today, right? An old buddy, who I've known for donkey's years. Right, he said, Jez, do you think it's a chance next year if we keep Arteta, we could get relegated? I said, do you know, I've always said never in my lifetime. No. But I don't think it ever would happen. We're too big. But hey, you never know with this absolute idiot, man. Absolute idiot. As Neil says, Arteta is worse than Billy Wright and Terry Neal combined. True. DJ.
Yeah.
Mate, you were there. You heard the shit. You witnessed it all, right? Please try and explain to an absolute idiot like me, right? Why is there the support for this guy? Why? The guy has done nothing.
Because he's a salt, DJ, isn't he? He's a salt. He's a Spaniard. He's
marketing.
That's what it
is. It's all marketing and PR and everything else. You know, I think what happened was when he walked through the door, and the way he got rid of Aubameyang, Guendouzi, and players like that, everyone sort of went, "Oh, this is it. This is what we need." And he kind of thrived on that, and he got a fan base behind him, as if to say, "Oh yeah, you know, we're Arsenal, and I want all the fans involved and the cleaners and everything about the club and the history and everything else." So he's PR, and it's brilliant what he does, really, to be honest, that side of things, because I've never known a manager to get so much kind of backing when he's out of his depth. I mean, it's just incredible. But touching on the players on the pitch, I mean, look, I can see about Declan Rice, and I'm on the fence with this one a little bit, because I think if you put Declan Rice with this Arnie Slot, what he's done to McAllister and Gravenbach and people like that, Declan Rice wouldn't be playing like he's playing now. It's down to the manager. The manager is destroying these players. They are not bad players. Declan Rice is a very, very intelligent player. It's the manager that's destroying this player. Yeah. And at the end of the day, the players now, I mean, if you look at that first 5-10 minutes of that game last night, even Saliba and Gabriel, that have been our rocks for many a season, were kind of on a different wavelength. It looks as if they'd only just started playing together for the first time. So even they're losing the plot now with this guy. Even they're confused. It's too confusing. He's too set in his ways. The players are too rigid. They can't express themselves. They're not allowed to think outside the box. You can see they're frightened to stand up to him. Yeah. They're completely frightened to stand up to him. And it is now showing on the pitch. You know, you got, as I said, I can't see any light at the end of the tunnel, and I've been saying it, you know, like Matty and everyone else. Years ago, I could see that there was going to be a progression. Bring a player in and it will change. But this guy could sign Gyökeres in January. Ain't going to, but he could do. But it doesn't matter what players this guy brings in. We'll be back to square one again. He don't know how to improve players. He has got no plan B.
Build their talent, DJ. You know, I mean, all I've ever seen is just players that have come in. You know, when Declan Rice joined us, and I'm going to ask Kenny this one, because I know Kenny's got a view about that, right? He looked bloody damn decent, right? Yeah, we go down to West Ham. Yeah, he scores. We win 6-0. Looking great. Blah 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 blah. Kenny, I asked DJ this backstage, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure I've asked you this before, and I'm going to ask you again, right? Because it's probably before Christmas, maybe November. I asked you this one. Do you think he's starting to lose the dressing room? Do you think the players are starting to think, "Fuck you, Arteta, fed up with you. You're talking bollocks. You play us out of position. You're not giving us what we need." I mean, give me your view, mate.
You're never sure. You're never sure with footballers, you know, because at the end of the day, you could tell that he lost. Because the problem is that Arteta don't like confrontation. Hence the fact that Aubameyang had to leave the club. Lacazette had to go eventually. Guendouzi left the club. I think these players. There's only one player that's shown dissent, and he never did it again, and that was Gabriel Magalhaes. Do you remember the start of last season?
Yeah, he dropped him, didn't he?
Yeah, because he had a fallout with the manager, and he refused to apologise. And then when he did apologise to the manager, he was allowed back in the team. And then Partey had an injury, and then it was easy to fit Declan Rice into the side. That is the crux of the situation. I think the players are behind him. They do believe in him. But let me tell you something about footballers in general. Footballers move on pretty quickly. They know that a manager's a temporary job. They know that their job's a temporary job. Look at Liverpool fans, Liverpool players now. Do they play like they've missed Jurgen Klopp? They haven't. Yeah. They took everything on board and they're playing for this manager. As long as they're in the team and they're getting regular games, they're gonna back their manager. The players who won't back the manager are the players who got left out or get disciplined regularly. And as far as I know, there isn't an issue with that. But it doesn't really matter whether the players lose a manager or not, because at the end of the day, players there's no such thing as player power in this day and age. There was previously, but now when you've got managers like Mikel Amorim at Man United, Pep Guardiola, and Klopp when he was at Liverpool, they're all micromanagers anyway. At the end of the day, if you don't play the way they play, or you don't give it all your all in training, you don't play. So the only way Arteta could lose his job is if someone within the club shows a bit of nuts and say, "Look, we're not winning anything. We need to go in a different direction," or if the fans decide enough's enough. If they do go on the radios, on Talk Sport or whatever, or Radio 5, and say, "Look, we're dissatisfied." If they do, make their feelings known at the stadium, that's the only way we're going to get this guy out. Because it's not going to. The players couldn't care less either way. Yeah, they'll bond with him, but they'll just bond with the next manager as long as they're getting games.
True. I mean, the thing is, Matty, anybody jump in after Matty's had his say on this one, right? This I think is a fucking disgrace, personally, right? That game, we got beaten by the better team, Newcastle United. Congratulations, well done. I did a watch along with Mama Flossie, and yeah, it wasn't pleasant to watch for an Arsenal fan. But Matty, why did those Arsenal players, right, when they were getting booed, right, by parts of the North Bank, why did they not go up to the North Bank fans with Arteta, right, and stand there and put their hands up and say, "We were shit, we got it wrong"? Why did Arteta not have the balls to go up to the North Bank and stand right behind that goal, right by the advertising hoardings, and goes, "I've got it wrong, guys. I've got it wrong. It's my fault"? Why?
Arteta is a certified coward. Now, y'all remember, we go back to Newcastle last year. You remember when we lost 1-0? He threw the players under the bus when he mismanaged the game. He hides behind what he needs to hide behind. The players are going to do it because he's not going to do it. We don't have – Diesel brought up an excellent point there. When we all came up and watched Arsenal growing up, we had men, leaders. Tony Adams would have drug everybody over there, said, "Get over there and put your hands up and clap for the crowd." We don't have that in the team anymore. It's by design. This man has designed these players to bow at his beck and call. Look no further than our team captain.
Exactly.
Look no further than Martin Odegaard.
This manager made him captain.
Yeah. Do you, when you look at Odegaard, does he instill any belief in you as an Arsenal fan? Does he give you the hope that you can go on to win things? Does he give you you can look at our old players. You can look at Vieira and go, you know what, man, he'll find a way. You can look at Bergkamp, he'll find a way. You can look at TT, he'll find a way. Ashley Cole, it is under the old guard. You can look at them. These players, come on, man. They don't want to go over there and deal with that crowd, with the realest of the real. They don't want to deal with that. They want to get on YouTube. They want to get on Instagram. They want to be coddled. This is why Kai Havertz is a model for the modern Arsenal fan. Yeah. He's a model for the modern Arsenal fan. That's the fan base. That is the typical play. Back in the day, if we had signed a player like that, he'd be the laughing stock of the team. He'd be the laughing stock of the team. He'd stick out so bad. It's become to a point where mediocre has become acceptable at these football clubs. I think I heard Kenny. I think I heard Craig Burley say it yesterday. Matter of fact, I did. He said Arsenal are mediocre. We are mediocre.
Yeah.
In every single way from top to bottom. Whether you want to talk about ticket prices at the stadium, food at the stadium, from what I'm hearing, the paint was chipping at the stadium from what I was hearing last year. Then you look over here, they're coming over here to America, running the game on us over here, jacking the prices up 30-fold. Folks going to fill up the stadium, kits every week, varsity jackets. You didn't see them about a varsity jacket yesterday, did you? You didn't see them varsity jackets yesterday, did you? In that Newcastle game. See? Told y'all. They know what they're doing. Yeah, this football club has become a marketing sham. Mm-hmm. It is a marketing sham. It is walking Christmas sales. That's all it is. This is all it's worried about. And when it comes to the footballing aspect, what the football club is built on, there's nothing to stand on. It's sinking sand. That's what it is now. It's sinking sand. This manager has killed what momentum we had in this football club. He has killed every last bit of momentum that we had in this football club. It is gone still.
Gone. It's gone. The heart of the club has gone. Diesel, I've actually, I've got some good questions pinned. Luke says, question, can we really say we're in a title race when we're 6 points off the first and that Liverpool got a game in hand? The Liverpool derby, Everton, postponed. We're close to fifth and first. Surely that's not in a title race. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, you know what? I don't completely buy into it. I do think Liverpool are going to win it, but I don't completely. When people are just writing it off, saying, "Yeah, it's Liverpool's," history tells us every team throughout the season at some point has a blip. They've not had one yet, right? So, the part of me feels it's going to come because it does to everyone, right? But Jez, at this point, Arsenal could be 8 points clear right now. I've got no faith in this team winning, and you've heard me say, because I've said it on here and I've said it on my channel. When it comes to the absolute crunch, they don't want it. No. And I genuinely believe that they are a club who are unambitious. They are a club who just root for top four, right? Wenger instilled that into us, and he's been gone all these years, and it's still here. They are a top four club. The owners, it's all about dough, money, paper, dollar. It's all. That's all it is, and these players, I do agree. DJ made a good point there, because as fans, I've fallen into this trap so many times, and I shouldn't. Sometimes when a player's out of form, we automatically think, he's crap, he's rubbish, but then you think to yourself, hang on a minute. I remember Aston Villa couldn't kick a ball straight under Gerrard. Emery goes in, look what he's done to him, and you think to yourself, that's a perfect example. A good manager who knows what he's doing, who's got a bit of pedigree, who can go into a club and actually train these players and turn them into, because these Arsenal players, the majority of them, they aren't bad. They're not. To get to that level, there are some which are just absolute crap. But I do think to myself, under a better manager, could we do something? I personally think, we're 4, 5, 6 players away, But we could, Jez. But the thing is, they just don't want it. You know, like they are cowards, mate. You know, the Havertz thing. You know, I said to you when I was on the stream before, I just don't like this man. No matter what he does in an Arsenal shirt, I just don't like the guy. Don't like him. You know, and the thing is with this, you know, you're looking at. I just look at Arne Slot and I think, my God, they're not even his players. I mean, you know, Arteta had that excuse, yeah, but they're not his players. Once he get his own players, you know, we'll see. You know, and he's got his own players and he's not doing anything. They're not playing for him. And I'll tell you one more thing I will say is this. You know, we talk about, you said earlier on, you asked the question, Jez, about these players. Are they not playing for him anymore? But I think a few of them have. But one thing I will say is this. Them players, the majority of them players must be looking around every transfer window and thinks to themselves, are we going to buy anyone of quality? If I was a player at Arsenal and I'm looking and I'm thinking, my God, that superstar's being linked with them, that good player's been linked with them, that banger up, that gunman up. And I'm looking at, you know, we're all flogged here. You know, we know you've got the money. We play for you. We know Arsenal have got bags of money. And Arsenal, and I said this on Monday, Jez, Arsenal just make do. That's what Arsenal are. They're a club that make do. That's it.
Get along club, mate.
Yeah.
DJ, I mean,
DJ, I've got to go, but before I go, guys, first of all, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I thank you, Jez, for giving me the time. And it's been lovely. It's been lovely to have this conversation with everyone. But I always say that if the manager, the players reflect the manager, and all you've got to look at is Nottingham Forest, and the players they've got. Compared to our players, they've got no Declan Rices, they've got no Kai Havertz, but the players reflect the manager, what they do on a weekly basis. And if you look at Nottingham Forest, what that manager's doing to them, and you look at what our manager is doing to our team, and you look at what Eddie Howe is doing to Newcastle, this Dan Burn looked like prime Maldini yesterday. Yeah, let's get it right. So the players reflect the manager. I know that players come out of form. I know that players can give a little bit more and everything else. I don't see any signs of not playing for the shirt. Sometimes I do, but on the whole, I don't see any signs that the players don't want to win and don't want to give it their all. You know, I see Saliba and I see Gabriel. I see Rice, and you know, whether they're playing good or bad or not, I don't see many signs of them just throwing the towel in. So the players are reflecting the manager, and the manager is not coaching these players correctly. He's not setting up correctly with them. He's not tactically telling them to go out and play properly to get a result. He doesn't know how to break down a low block. He doesn't know what to do. And the style of football is going backwards, and it will get worse and worse and worse. And if we're not careful, guys, we're going to be sitting here this time next year in 7th, 8th, 10th, 12th in the league. We will be replacing Man United in the Premiership. And this guy is very, very lucky that Man United haven't got their ball in order. Spurs have not got their ball in order. He's very lucky that Chelsea has not carried on their good form over Christmas, because if he'd have had all those teams battling on the top of the table, we'd be talking a whole lot of a different ball game. Because, you know, that's all I can say. I mean, you know, as I said, I've got to go, but the bottom line is, it's the player, it's the manager that has the influence. It's him that sets the tactics. It's him that sets the style of play. It's him that turns to the board and says, I want this player. I want to sign this player. I need that player. And this guy has completely lost the plot on all levels, to the point that he is now blaming a football.
Oh, and the fans.
So on that note, my friends, roll on Sunday.
I'm going to talk about that right now, but I'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, big love to you all, guys.
DJB.
Love to speak to you. All the best, and thank you for all the listeners. Stay safe. Take care, my guys.
Have a good
Thank
weekend.
you.
Have a good one, brother.
TJ.
Nice one.
Doing,
Cheers, Kenny.
doing DJ's Arsenal journey tomorrow night, so that'll be a great show to watch. That'll be very interesting. I've done quite a few of them, all you boys. So anyway, yeah, let's move it on. Sunday, Man United come to North London. Kenny, you'll be there. FA Cup, third round. My favourite trophy. Your favourite trophy. We grew up with it. What do you think, mate? What do you think?
Well, the thing about it is that game takes a lot of importance. It was always important because it's Man United in the cup. You know, it's a game where, in fact, it's one of the games that take importance because after Man United, you got Tottenham, then Aston Villa, and then after that, you got Dinamo Zagreb. So the spotlight's going to be very much on, Mick Arteta. He's not going to be away from home where he's got the fans behind him because the away fans are the most passionate fans out there, but away fans, you will know, are the ones who say it is. They're the ones who tend to turn on the manager. But in terms of the way we're playing, he's going to have to play the same team again because there's no excuses to rest players because we're not. He's had a 5-day rest. Once again, he's going to have to go strong. But once again, this Man United side may be different from the team that we played on the 4th of December. That Man United side just came just to survive. They didn't come to win the game. They came for a point. And they didn't have the quality that they weren't in tune with what the manager wanted. But if the Man United replicate how they played against Liverpool, where they refused to lose, and Bruno Fernandes actually show some sort of leadership that he showed at Anfield, we're in for a difficult game again. Because what we're going to do, we're going to think, right, Man United are not very good at set pieces, so let's put the crosses and let's play the set pieces. What if Man United get their act together and, like I said, work very hard on set pieces? Where's the creative hub of the team? I don't see it. Odegaard has gone missing since he's come back from injury. And let's face it, there's a reason why Odegaard was let go by Real Madrid, and we've seen it. There's a ceiling that Odegaard can go to, and I think he's reached it. But we've got to persevere with him because we haven't got anyone that's fighting for his place. And then you've got the decision he's got to make is who's he play at left back? Is it going to be Calafiori, or is he going to give Lewis Skelly a running games? That's a big, massive game. If Arsenal lose that game, then what will happen? Crowd will turn. But I promise you, Jess, if we lose that game and the North London derby, there'll be carnage.
Yes.
Carnage.
That is the thing, Kenny.
anyone who doesn't, follow the mantra of going after the players, after the manager, and tries to be positive, they need not be in my presence.
No,
it won't be pleasant. It will not be pleasant. I won't tolerate a defeat on Sunday, and I won't tolerate a defeat next week. I'm not tolerating yesterday's result, but if it goes south in those next 2 games, Mikel, he's in deep quicksand.
Shit. Basically, deep shit, mate. Matty, big game. 3rd round FA Cup. It's my life trophy. Grew up with it as a little kid. First cup final, FA Cup 71. The year we won our first double. For me, it's in my blood. And this guy, since he's won it, has disrespected it. In my honest belief, right? It's not even in the equation anymore. And for him, when he turned around a few weeks ago, when he was being interviewed, and he said, "Yo, you've won one trophy." No, I've won 3. Now, I'm not even going to. We're not even going to go down that road because I think he was serious personally. Some people say he was taking the piss. I don't believe that. If he knocks us out against Man United, and let's be honest, Man United this year are bloody awful. Bloody awful. Right? Yeah, they got away with it at the weekend against Liverpool. Great game. But this is the FA Cup, man. Matty, we can't afford to capitulate in this game, can we?
All right, so this is a question I asked Lee the other night. I'm going to ask all three of y'all. Kenny, this would be a really good question. When was the last time Arsenal beat Manchester United 3 times in the season?
Ooh, crikey, that's a good question, man. Ooh.
Now, I've looked far and wide. I've looked. I had the same look that Diesel got over there. The same look. And I'm going to tell you why I said that.
Cool. I don't actually know the answer there, to be fair.
The chat ain't going to like it. The chat's not going to like TJ Warren. He's not going to like it either. The odds are not in our favor. The odds are not in our favor. This manager, when we capitulate, we capitulate royally. It gets real bad. This weekend is prime setup for Manchester United to put the death knell in this manager. And I think we are fast tracked on the pathway to this manager walking away. He won't get the sack. He's going to walk away. He's going to walk away. I've been telling people. So? I think so. Jez, I think so. And I'll tell you why. Because everybody asked me that this morning. They said, man, why you think that? I said, because it's better for him to walk away than to get the sack. It's more embarrassing for his dossier to get the sack right now. And considering where he set 2 second place finishes, where we are now, if we regress and keep regressing and he's still here, it looks bad on him. It's better for him to walk away. Say, hey, look, I've done the best I can. I realize, that I can't get the team over the line. XYZ, move on. He'll probably get a decent job. The longer he sits here and we go all the way back the way he started, because that's where we headed. And we get out of cup competitions early this year. Newcastle, this one, Champions League. I told y'all, wait till we get into that next phase of Champions League. Your Bayern Munich's and your Real Madrid's and all these teams, all these tanks sitting over there waiting on us. Right now, I'll tell you, I'll throw it something just popped in my head. I'll tell you something else too. If Manchester City find a way to make up all the lost ground and they come past us, that's another feather in the cap of failure from this manager. Another one. If Slot, as Diesel just brought up, if Slot wins this title, which me and Kenny think he's on the path to winning it, he wins this title. Chelsea, if he wins a trophy over at Chelsea, God forbid, watch this now, God forbid Spurs end up winning this Carabao Cup some way, some shape, form, or fashion. If Newcastle win a trophy, if they win any, if they FA Cup is there, if Forest finished above us, bro, the last time Forest was this far in the total, I wasn't even living. so bro, I'm telling you, this manager, yesterday started, the seeds have been planted for this manager to walk away. When you start seeing the stuff that we've seen, this is it. He knows the wall is closing in. He doesn't have this. Kenny brought it up. He doesn't have the people in the media. I've heard people in the media today that normally are Arteta. They're turning around and say, "Well, what is he losing the plot? Is he losing?" The questions you're asking, I've heard today over in America. The people are starting to see this for what it is. Mm-hmm. It's over. The charade is over. It was over last year. People get what's got him here right now, gentlemen, is the benefit of the doubt. And people say, well, you know what? Maybe it was just a bad run in here with Man City. Let's see what we can do next year. No, it started worse. Do you realize we are worse than we were last? This team is worse than the team that we had last year. It's not even better. It's not even better, gentlemen. It's not even better. The footballing is absolutely done. And then we're going to play a Manchester United team that look rejuvenated against Liverpool. Kenny, what I told you yesterday, I said, inspirational. I said, look at this inspirational output from Manchester United. A busted up Manchester United. And then you said we got Aston Villa behind that? And they're going to be looking for something? Spurs coming? Manchester United again, Newcastle again coming behind that somewhere. Chelsea. I told y'all there's no hiding. I told y'all at the beginning of the season when I looked at the fixtures, There are no places to hide. There are no nooks, no crannies. You can't go in no closets. There's nowhere. You're going to have to take these L's this year, Mr. Arteta, or you're going to have to walk away just like Edu did. That's what Edu did. He walked away. I'm out of here.
I think Edu saw the writing on the wall, mate, personally.
He did. He did, Jim.
Diesel on the set. Kyle, thank you, mate, for your super chat. Players are in fear and not good enough. Well, they're not good enough, and they are in fear, in my honest belief. Diesel, mate, third round, FA Cup, Man United coming to the Emirates Stadium. If we cock that up, mate, then this guy. I can't even say call him a manager. I can't say that. Yeah. He's got to go. He has got to go.
Yeah, we know that, Jez. But I disagree with Matt a little bit on that, because I think if we lose against United and we lose against Spurs, he's still going to be here. What we have to remember, right? And we see it all the time. We see it in the media, and we see it on that channel, and we've got loads of Arsenal fans around us. There's still a large section of this fan base who can't see any wrong with this manager. And for me, when you look back to Arsene Wenger, and it was so prolonged, it wasn't overnight.
No.
And we're talking about a legend here, right? Now, when you look at this man, there is still a large section of fans who look at it and think, oh, he took over a mess. Oh, he's this, he's that, the Aubameyang thing and all these changes he's made. And I just think we've got I insult our fan base so much, because I genuinely believe we have some absolute low-down scumbags in this fan base. And I've got no faith in even that lot. There will be some who are returning now, but there is still a hardcore section of this fan base who just cannot see it. And if they do, Jez, they ain't got the balls to come out and say, do you know what, hands up, I got this wrong, right? They haven't got the balls to do it. Arteta, I don't know any manager who will walk away. We can call it pride, arrogance, whatever. You're walking away from money. No one's doing that. He only signed a new contract last year, I believe, right? No one's walking away from 8, 9, 10 million. You're not. You're not doing it. And he's got the arrogance where he will stay and try and ride it out. But one thing I did agree with Matt is that when he said, because I said it on my Instagram earlier on with a lot of these Arteta lovers, you're running out of places to hide. You are, because listen, you can't defend the indefensible, Jez. You can't. That channel can keep plugging out what they do. There's going to come. I'm noticing a couple of them now who are slowly trying to turn the wheel now. No. You made your bed, you're lying it, right? Don't try and do it.
They are starting to turn it, aren't they?
Yeah. Some of them are. Right?
Robbie, I see Robbie, right? The fat git, right? Trying to twist it now around the corner. He knows. Sorry to interrupt you, Matt.
No, go on, mate. No, go on. I agree with you. Yeah.
He's trying to change the narrative now. He knows it's going to turn. Yeah. So he's got to get back to popularity, because he doesn't want to make himself, for his channel, and Kenny knows more about this than I will ever know. Yeah. He doesn't want to make himself look like a complete prick when everybody said, hang on, mate, you were Arteta out. You're Arteta out. And now what are you doing? You're saying, you're Arteta in, and now you're saying Arteta out. The guy will make himself look a complete arse, and I hope they do, because they are the cancer in this fan base to young Arsenal.
Yeah, they are. I said it the other night, Jez. You ask any you do a survey of 100 non-Arsenal fans, and you ask them, who's the worst fan base in this country? It's Arsenal. We are hated, right, among the media. And unfortunately, it's because of arseholes like that on that channel. That's all it is. They sold out, right? They sold their soul to the devil. I've always said that, right? A little bit of coin. Now, if they're walking around and they are millionaires, yeah, I kind of get it. They're not, right? We all know that. They're not, right? I remember Claude, rest in peace. I remember Claude telling me, you think half of them have got season tickets? You're having a laugh. They turn up, they watch the game in a pub, and they turn up at the end of the game outside the stadium to make up they've been in there. They haven't. It's all fake, Jez. It's like watching EastEnders. It's fake, right? It's absolutely fake. But whilst we have a channel like that, and as big as it is, and we've got these youngsters, because let's be honest, we have a lot of sheep in this fan base. They watch that. You know, I've got an 11-year-old son. If I ever saw him put that on his iPad, trust me, the iPad's getting thrown out the window, mate. So, you know, I'm sorry, but as a parent, no, I can't do that to him, Jez. I love the boy. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do it. But, you know, the crux of it is, sorry, going back to Man United, there's a little part of me that I was sitting here listening to Matty saying, and in my head I'm thinking, no, we're bad, but that lot, blimey. I mean, you know, everyone's praising them for against Liverpool. You know, if there was ever a time, my son, I told him, if there was ever a time to be a footballer, a Premiership, it's now. Because you could play 20 bad games, have one decent game. Everyone forgets them bad 20 games. It's all about the here and now. Man United are absolute trash. We're bad, but they're worse, right? Anyone who thinks they're going to, against Liverpool, they're going to carry that on. No. When I hear, oh, yeah, but they'll be up for it because it's Liverpool. You should be up for it every single week. Jez, you said it yourself. Professional footballer. It's in the title. Professional, right? You don't just turn up as and when you like. No, right? Whether that's Liverpool, Wolves, QPR, whoever it is, right? You turn up. Arsenal, for me, have got to win this. I think they will win it just, right? But all this, and I was going to ask Kenny this, all this nonsense about that I'm seeing on the TV, and the minute Arsenal get awarded a corner and we're celebrating like we've just scored a goal. I mean, seriously, I have never seen that with another club. But I just think, I think Man United are so bad, and there's a lot of false hope now because of what they did last week, right? That they're gonna, that's gonna be them now going forward. No, I think as bad as we are, Jez, I still think we'll have too much for them. That's my personal. I'm wrong, but yeah.
I seriously bloody hope so, mate. I seriously do. Big up Wayne, mate. Hi, Jez. Do you subscribe? I'm not an Arsenal fan, but your Mr. Views on Lee's channel. Thank you, my friend. I just also got a couple of starred comments. We had a Chesterfield fan. Where is he? Where's he gone? I've lost him. Mike, where he gone? He's disappeared. Oh well, never mind. Sorry about that. We had never ever had a Chesterfield fan in here. So big up to you, my guys. I actually did go and watch Chesterfield. I was working up there once midweek many years ago. I did go and watch Chesterfield against Darlington. Wasn't the greatest of games, but big up to you anyway, boys. Kenny, you worked there. You know these lot inside out better than any of us.
Yes.
They're starting to change and turn. I don't watch them. I do quickly sometimes watch the odd fan cam of they do. They're starting to turn, mate, Robbie. He's starting to turn.
Oh, he isn't. I know them inside out. I see him at games. I've seen more of them at games now because a lot of them go to games now because, especially away games, because they want to make sure that they get their interview after a match, especially some of the London games. That's just a fact. That's not me being facetious. It's just factual.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Factual. But in terms of like the worms turning, again, the worm turns per match. If we play well, everything's all right in the camp. If we play badly, then it turns. Only a few of them are consistent. Not all, and there's only a couple of them are definitely consistent. But one person, he doesn't want me to mention his name, but he's definitely turning against the manager. In fact, he's screaming it, and he's beginning to say it on the telecasts. He's now realising what we've realised a long time, that
Mr. Judges.
I can't name the person, but what I would say is that he's beginning to realise that there's a long line and a massive gap between getting over the line and being on the cusp of getting over the line. And he's beginning to realise that this manager is taken as far as he can go. The team without Bukayo Saka is beginning to open his eyes and open certain people's eyes until what the team's all about. and the fact that it's built for one player, that if that player doesn't play, then it collapses like a deck of cards. The thing that's really, 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 getting a lot of fans nervous, especially certain people who now turn against the manager, is they looked at Liverpool, and as Diesel alluded to, Liverpool are actually doing just enough to get where they are. They don't have to be particularly great. They just have to basically avoid defeat. And if they're getting any difficulties a game, they got the second and third gear to go into it. Look at the Leicester game, at Boxing Day. They started off really slowly. Leicester went 1-0 up. What they do? Went into gear 2 and gear 3. Before you knew it was 2-1. And then when Leicester were coming back in the game, they went into gear 4, 3-1. That's all they've been doing. You speak about a game. Liverpool have only really played well twice against Leverkusen and Real Madrid. Apart from that, they've done enough to win the game. But they've got this quality in their team where they got game changers. If Salah doesn't turn up or doesn't score, he's creating an assist.
Yeah.
And that's the situation. And a lot of people who go on that channel weren't prepared for Liverpool. They actually were satisfied that they were just behind the Man City side, who they believed were unbeatable, and they had a coach that is unbeatable. They're happy with that because they thought eventually, if he went, we'd be the next cab of the rank. But seeing Liverpool doing what they're doing and seeing that Man City are in a bit of furor, is the scales are falling out of people's eyes. There's still a lot of lower people out there. There's still a few people going on that channel who look in the camera and say, you've got to back the manager, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. I even watched one telecast. One guy talks about another fan that's turning against the manager, where he says he looked that fan in the eye and he says that Arteta is a great manager because he got 89 points last season. And before that, he got 84. So he's pointing towards that guy's points tally, whilst the guy who's turned against the manager completely says, well, hang on here, where's the trophies? He can't get over the line. He can't take us to that level, which is winning trophies. And they both looked at each other in the eye. So the worm is turning. But the fact is, they got themselves in a bit of a problem. They're now the mouthpiece for the football club. They now got access to press conferences, especially abroad when they're on tour in the United States. They're not going to give that up if fans in their channel are actively calling for the manager's head. Let's not remember, one guy who was on that channel said something totally, like I said, taken out of context, but because the word gun was used, everyone's turned against him and tried to cancel him in the channel. What they do, that channel can immediately contact the football club to apologise. Do you think that these guys are your representatives if there's an undercurrent of feeling towards the manager? No, they won't. The people who are going to be able to call for change are the fans who go to a football club who are totally unrelated and unconnected disconnected to the fan channel. And let's not remember one thing. Let's talk about facts here.
You got Wayne.
Let's talk about footballing facts. That channel had nothing to do with the Wenger out movement. It was just there at the right time. It happened to have a couple of people who became a new face of their channel on there who were Wenger out. And let's not forget the main face got embroidery that wasn't his own, but he ran away with it. Never corrected anyone when they called him a main member of the Wenger out movement, and he used that. He was able to use that to propel himself to the main man on that channel, where he got the main views, and the other guy on there got the main views.
Yeah,
it's not that channel no more. That channel wasn't looking for sponsorship, wasn't looking for publicity. It's got the sponsorship. Sponsors come to them now.
Yeah.
They
are a massive channel. They are a massive channel.
They're a massive channel now. They don't need fan cams. They make their money via watch-alongs and their shows, which are heavily sponsored. And there's another thing as well. The thing, a lot of the people who are on that channel, not only got YouTube channels, some of them have agents. So when you think you're seeing, when you watch the overlap and you think you're seeing something authentic, that's a lot of crap. Everyone on that, every fan that goes on there are part of the same agency, where that agency will contact Sky and handpick those fans. So, when that guy, one more thing, when that guy says we go to every game, well, yeah, of course you go to every game, because as a business, you've got to be every game, because you can't. You're going there for work, not as a fan, to work.
Yeah.
You taking a cameraman at those games, and you know, taking a microphone game, you're working. And if you're working, you're making money. So you go to every game because of work, right? Not because you're a fan. Your love for the football club and your activity as a fan has been superseded by your business.
What did I tell y'all? I told y'all, showed y'all this a long time ago. I said, this is the Red Cartel. Arteta, Edu, Kroenke, Garlic, Tim Lewis, AFTV, Friends of Aaron, Babs, and any Arsenal fan under 20 on Twitter, Football London, back pocket journalists. This is the syndicate right here.
Yeah.
This is why we can't get it. This football club won't get anywhere. This is why I keep trying to tell everybody. And until you take off the two right here in the middle, right here, all this come down. Once you take all this down, all this come down. Because then you cut the access off. Once you cut that access off, that's it. That's all she wrote. And this whole thing falls apart. It's coming. I just keep telling y'all, just wait. It's coming. It's absolutely coming. I promise y'all it's coming.
You know what? I want to ask Jez, all he is, but I want to ask you, Jez. It just come to me. I just want to ask you a question. If you had to, just judging by that diagram that just come up, if you had to pick one to go, Arteta or AFTV, which one would you pick?
Arteta.
Yeah.
What about you?
Look, he's the nucleus of our trouble, right? Much as I hate AFTV, AFTV don't run the football team. Arteta runs that football team, and Arteta is the one that is going to capitulate this football club. That's my opinion. But before I want you to go ask the other guys this one, but I'll just quickly do this super chat, friend. If I may, Unique 79, mate. Thank you very much for your super chat. If we beat Man United on Sunday, there will have to be wise in this month's transfer window. We will need to buy quality players who are not tied in both the Champions League and the FA Cup to win one of them or both. Good comment.
We're not going to get any players then. We're not getting any players.
No, that's the point.
Reasons that the player, if they're involved in a European competition, only a foolish club will sell those players to us or any club. You want to get your best players if you're still in the how do I say it, in the top 8 of any of the European competitions.
We're not signing any player. Number one, we don't even have a sporting director.
No.
And then number two, the rumor I heard this week was Josh Kroenke is supposed to be coming over to help work on the transfers with Arteta. So we know how that's going to go. So no, we're not signing. But nobody's going to take these folks serious right now. Nobody's going to take Arteta serious.
Oh, mate. SG, man. Jez, what is your shirt size? Medium. I might buy a Real Madrid kit as a gift to you. No, I'll tell you what. If you want to do that, Newport County, they're my second team. Welsh team. They're my
Welsh team, yeah.
My other granddad used to support Newport County. And as a little kiddie, when I went down to Wales, sometimes he'd take me to watch Newport County, who were pretty shit, and they are pretty shit. But anyway, same question then. To you, Kenny Ken from Diesel.
Well, I'm going to state a fact, and it's relevant to all of you. I actually spoke to a steward yesterday, and I gave him a rundown of the things I said about the fan channels, about how it really works, and how people get handpicked by the same agents, and how these guys go to games, and how they're an agent of the club. I'm going to state, but I stated one fact to him. You don't have to. Arteta. The reason why you have to go for Arteta is because the fan channels are not part of the problem. But one thing that's factual about life and fans is things go out of fashion. I remember back in the day when I was in my early 20s, jungle music was in fashion.
Yeah.
From between 1994 and 95. Then after 95, there was Britpop that went out of fashion when the Spice Girls came along, and then you had two-step garage. Remember that, Diesel?
Cool.
Yeah.
It was two-step garage, and then after 2002, that went out of 2003. They went out of fashion. Drum and bass came in.
Thank God.
It was grime, and then you got drill music. And what I'm trying to say is that what they're doing, will be out of fashion. Right now, it's new, it's fresh, but you can see for yourself, it was massive in 2016, 2017, especially that season when two of the guys, the guys replaced Claude and Ty. They were all over the radio station. Everyone was talking about them. Everyone was slagging them off. Opposition fans, like Noel Gallo, were going in his Mancunian accent. I wait for Arsenal to finish a game if they lose or draw. I'll give it an hour, make a cup of tea, get a biscuit, and then I'll go on AFTV.
Yeah.
8 years down the line now, not many people are saying that. There's not many memes of AFTV people.
No.
Because they're going in a different direction. But they will go out of fashion, and people like us will still be around because we will remain relevant because we haven't changed who we are. We are football fans and stay being football fans.
Yeah.
We haven't. We're not businessmen. They're businessmen, and they're how do I say it, personalities. As I said, all got agents, and they all got limited companies of their fan channels. Things don't last forever. As I said, garage music. You told me in 1999, 2000 that garage music would go out of fashion, I would have laughed at you. But it did.
No, it did. Do you not think, though, Ken? But listen, I'll be honest. Back in the day, I used to watch AFTV. When it first came out, I loved it. I thought it was refreshing, something new. But, and especially, obviously, watching all the best ones on there for me are the ones who have gone, right? But when something, this is anything in life, when something comes along and it's genuine, fresh, new, but mostly it's authentic, right? Yes, popular appeal, yeah. But then what turns a lot of people away, myself included, is what anyone can stand there and do a fan cam. But when these guys are now going on like celebrities, that's where I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. Don't forget who you are, right? I think you said to me, Ken, ages ago, you get little kids running up to the likes of that prick with the hat, DT, asking him for, and he looks down at them and sometimes ignores them. And someone else was telling me Liam Brady was walking down and no one knew who he was, but they knew who that lot were. And that for me, that is where I'm like, nah, I'm out. So, nah. Sorry.
It's all lopsided.
So one thing as well. Let's not forget the first series of Big Brother in this country. Yeah. And then, because what happens is that whenever you get these reality TV programs, the first one is the more simple, authentic. The second and first, anything from the second season isn't authentic because the cast to go on there know what the public expect of them.
Yeah, of course.
And they know the public are watching. So they play the game.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, they go on these programs, these Love Islands, all these Married at First Sight, not to find love, not to find a husband, to become Instagram famous.
Yes, it's bullshit, man.
You know what? Now that you mentioned it, Diesel, when when they came over here to the States, man, I remember that. I remember how folks was jumping up and down.
Oh.
And it's like, you know, because I bumped into troops walking out. I was heading back to my hotel and I bumped into troops and then we end up talking or whatever. And it's just the way people act. I mean, even in some of my American Arsenal chats here, people were going on about, yeah, man, you know, we got to go. AFTV's going to be here. And I'm like, bro, these are men like you are. Put on clothes, bro. Like, what's this all about, man? What's this going on? But I want to say this. You know what the best part about last night was to me, gentlemen, for all of us? We were able to put our heads down last night and go to bed and wake up without a problem.
Yeah.
Without a care in the world, because you ain't sold your soul.
Yeah.
You know, everything we've said is what we've been saying since day one.
Matty, I mean, Lee, you know, big up Lee for joining in. He's on about AFTV, 12K live. I was there, Matty. You were there.
Yeah, we was there. Yeah, we were there.
8.4 thousand people. 8.4 thousand people watching Lee's stream live, right? You know, not many people can achieve that. And when you look at what Lee's got, 110,000 subscribers now, somewhere around about that. I might be wrong, but it's round about that, right? AFTV, was it 1.2 million subscribers? Something like that?
Yeah.
No, they got 1.69 million subscribers.
Yeah.
1.69, 1.7. Right, make it easy. 1.7, right? Lee Gunner, 110,000. And he's got 2/3 of what they're watching, of them people watching that bunch of fucking frauds. That says it all to me, people, that the worm is turning.
Yep, we said it. We said it at the end of last season. I remember.
Yeah,
and I said,
do you know what? I will say this because I'm a biased bastard anyway. I'm biased. But I will say this. It started turning, right, when they did what they did to Claude. Because I'm telling you now, Jez, he was the best thing on that channel. He was the most real, the most authentic, the most genuine. And when you see the way they treated him after 8 years of standing toe-to-toe with this lot, then they treat him like that because of a sponsorship deal. That's where a lot of people I know of were like, nah, do you know what? That's it. No, honestly.
Yeah, but it gets worse, though. It gets worse. It gets worse. I still say, I tell anyone to listen, go looking for it. That was an excuse that they needed to get rid of the guy. Because, and I say it all the time, because after there was problems, you know, where before problems, they were using his mental health as an issue, as a way to silence him. When really and truly, they got two main characters.
And they put Claude at the back when he's the main man there.
But the reason why they put him at the back is because the two main characters brought younger fans into the show. The two main characters, because of their colloquialisms, brought fans from all over the world onto the show, and basically had that urban mix that they needed. And they haven't lost that urban mix. So what will happen is that Claude and Ty became surplus to requirements. That's just a fact. But rather than, you know, because all the main opportunities, they weren't getting them no more. They weren't getting involved in mainstream. That's just a fact. They were using the other two main characters because business-wise, in order to try and get the young crowd, they were what was needed, but they were using my guy's situations, the fact that, you know, he hadn't got over, you know, losing his ma, and he had complicated family issues as an excuse to say, oh, you know, I'm not sure we can interview anymore because we're worried about your situation. I know for a fact the year before that was definitely the case. In fact, I had a conversation with someone on the channel, one of the main characters, and I had to tell that person to tell the main man, and you know I'm talking about, to give a couple of characters a call, because a couple of main characters, one of them, Claude, felt marginalised and unloved by the channel and by that person. And because of my intervention, I spoke to one of the main characters. He gave Claude and the other person a call to reassure him that he thinks a lot of them. And that's a fact. That's not me bigging myself up.
No,
That's what happened. So the Claude thing, as far as I'm concerned, was something that just fell into their laps. And all the things they said that, they were definitely going to have him back. No, you weren't going to have him back. Once your sponsors got involved, you couldn't. There was no way back for him, and it suited you.
No, it's true. And do you know what, Mark? When you look at that, and I think to myself, this is where I look at Robbie. People can say it's a business, and I kind of get, but how big a statement it would have made if he went, no, do you know what? That particular, I think it might have been Harry's at the time or whatever. That particular sponsor. Now, I choose to stand by my friend. Right, I'm going to get another sponsor. I've got a channel this size.
Be up, Lee.
There's part of me, Kenny, that thinks a lot of people. If Robbie had done that, there's a lot of people who would have went. Do you know what? I'm not a lover of this channel. I'm not a lover of you. But you know what? Fair play. Yeah, I respect that. Yeah, but no, out he went. And Lee's in the channel in the chat now, and I've said it to him before. Yeah, the one thing, and I'll end on this. The one thing, that I loved about all of that was. At the funeral, Kenny, we were the last ones, weren't we? By his coffin. Everyone went out and we were the last ones to say goodbye. And for me, nothing tops that. So I'll end with that. But yeah.
Fair enough, mate. I mean, I totally respect you for that comment. Big up to Lee. We're going to wrap it up soon, but before we go, Linda, big up to you for your super chat. Lee is legit. God bless Claude from Pompey fan. Big up to you, Linda. Right. Predictions for the game on Sunday. Kenny, you'll be at the match. Third round, FA Cup, my favourite cup competition. Give me a prediction, man.
2-1 Man United.
Oh, ouch. Ouch. We just saw some comments there from a Man United fan who's saying that, he's confident. Ow. Well, I'm not to say now. Matty, you'll be doing the watch along. You know what I mean? Third round, FA Cup, greatest football cup competition in the world to me. Sorry, Kenny, it's better than the World Cup. Sorry, I've got to tell you.
Hey, I'm not complaining about that. I love international football, but the FA Cup's always been a competition that's very much close to my heart. I still get emotional when I'm at cup finals and Abide By Me, the hymn, that I really get emotional because it's something I grew up with and it was always my dream to watch my club in the FA Cup final. So you won't catch me disagreeing with you at all.
Matty, prediction. Please be positive. Please.
Unfortunately, I have no positivity.
Oh.
Manchester United 3, Arsenal 1.
Really? No, come on.
I have no positivity for you.
Oh, come on, please, somebody. Diesel. My guy, please, mate.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, has anyone been watching Man United all season? Listen, forget the Liverpool game. When you see a club of that stature celebrating a draw, you know they're done. And listen, like I say, we're bad. That lot down there, my God.
Yeah, but they did something else, Diesel. They did something which we bottled. They didn't. They went to Man City, who we didn't realise at the time we were on the wane, and went there and won, playing their own unique style of play, basically soaking up pressure and running their hearts out. So it wasn't Anfield result; it was the Man United result. So Man City result. Yeah, we know Man City are bad,
come on.
But they won at Main Road though. Obviously, Tottenham went and done it as well. So you say that no matter what you say about Man City and Tottenham, so Man United and Tottenham, those two clubs, the only ones who had the nuts to go up there and think, you know what, they're fair for a taking, and let's stick at the game plan. Let's go there to win. Everyone else hasn't.
No, I get it. Man United to me are a team who turn up every now and again. They put one half decent performance in, Kenny, and then in their minds, we got the pressure.
They're FA Cup holders as well, please.
I just Kenny stole my thunder. I was just getting ready to say, who was the last team
to
win?
Sorry, Matt.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say it. I was going to say, what was the last team to win it? so I mean, they're basically for them this season. They're playing for this. They're playing for that the Europa League, and then
Yeah.
they've got, you know, and then of course they're trying to do whatever they can to try to find a way to get into Europe next year by any means necessary. So they're going to take this extremely serious. Arteta's best bet is for him to make this a statement game for him in the team. There's something he's got to do something. But I don't think, based off of what we've seen in pressure situations. Now, Kenny, I bring this up all the time when it comes to pressure, because if you'd won that game yesterday, there's really not much pressure. He can kind of go into this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
he made it a pressure situation, guy.
There is there. Yeah. There is there. I'm predicting 2-1.
Matt, see what you just said there, Matt. That's what makes me think Arsenal were going to win. I can't see him going 2 home games without a win, and I think because of what happened the other night, I think they're going to go. He could have weakened the side against Man United because of what happened last night. He's got to go full. Mind you, even if he wanted to weaken it, he probably couldn't. But he's got to go full strength. But I reckon scoreline, Jez, I think Arsenal will literally cheat it 1-0, and I reckon that'll be a set piece, probably from a corner.
What can I ask a question, y'all?
Hey,
Jez, can I ask a quick question? What happens? Let's say he wins this weekend and then loses the Spurs coming up soon.
Sacking,
because that's on the cards now. That's on the cards. It's on the cards. I'm just letting y'all know that there's a possibility this fool could go turn right around, do all this, and then go to Spurs and lose, embarrass us again.
Yeah. I actually think Spurs could beat us. You know.
Well, you know they're supposed to be signing.
Yeah.
With our squad right now, as I sit here looking at this. Oh dear God, I hate to say this. I hate it. What am I thinking? Jez, what are you thinking? I could see Spurs doing us. I could see it. And I tell you what, that would just ruin my whole, this season's done. Gone. See you later. Because at the end of the day, I said last night, I'm getting to the point, Kenny, you're going to hate me for this. I'm getting fed up watching this team.
I felt the same with Jez.
I fully understand where you come from, all of you. But the fact is that we're football fans, and we will watch the games because it's what we do, and we're still going to back ourselves and continue our love of football.
You come back every time, don't you? It's
a drug. It's a drug.
It's a drug. We're emotionally invested in our club, and love and hate for the club is still strong emotions. You can hate the club and still love it at the same time. You can hate the players and still love the club. We all hate the manager, but we always put the club first. The club's the star, not the players.
That's what's gotten lost, Kenny. That's what's gotten lost in all of this.
That badge behind me, mate. That's what it is.
Right.
Exactly. The biggest star at the club is the club. The club's the star.
It is, and it's great. I just want to show this comment. I think this is a fact. Where has it gone? I've lost it. There's too many chats coming in too quick. I can't keep up. There we go. Arsenal 14. Big up, man. Arteta out now. We're at the end of the season. If he loses, a quick question. If he loses on Sunday against Manchester United, FA Cup, right? I want him gone Monday.
I'm going to impose the Ola method. Ola said, and I'm going to quote, he should have been fired last night. Operation Save the Cups. I'm going Ola. Yeah. Fire him on the spot. Get him out of here so we can try to get some form of success.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen, unfortunately. Anyway, gentlemen, everybody in the chat, thank you very much. Thank you for the super chats, you lovely people. Kenny Ken, please shout your stuff out. Where can we find you on Insta?
Well, you can find me at Kenny Kane 1972 on Insta, causing all sorts of trouble, taking a mickey. You know, I hope that the things I put up, as well as winding you up, are thought-provoking. That's what I really want. I don't want to wind you up. I want you to have some sort of thought-provoking views. I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm mostly wrong most of the time, but I'm sticking to my guns and my views on Declan Rice and his utility as a top-class midfielder for both club and country.
Yeah, fact, man. Matty Matt, shout your channel up, man. Really enjoyed being on your show the other week. Great stream. 2 hours went like 5 minutes. Great show.
Yep. Southern Gooner here on YouTube. I'll be Friday, just a heads up, anybody wants to join, we'll be doing a therapy session on Friday. And tonight, Kenny, I'll be going over the damn pots. I don't know who I'm going to be on with tonight or what, but
guess what? You're on with me.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm in safe hands then. I don't know what's going on over there, but Dan reached out to me this morning.
Oh, don't worry, matey. I'm gonna let you deal with Mr. Egal.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch that. What time is that on?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
I think Dan wants to watch Liverpool get thrashed at them.
Have a great show, guys. Yeah, enjoy that one. Diesel, my guy.
Yo.
Loved it the other night watching you on there. Mate, you need to stream more. Seriously.
Yeah, mate. Do you know what? I'm looking at trying to do it every Monday now, Jez, even if it's once a week. I just want to do. I was quite proud of myself last night. The other night, I only went for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm trying to. Yeah. Normally go for 3 hours, so I'm trying to. But it's with this club. There's so much to talk about. Do you know what I mean? And also, it's a credit to the guys in the chat because I just bounce off of them. I don't do any prep work for it. Neither do you guys. We speak with our heart. And this is the thing. When you tell the truth, it's the easiest thing to remember, guys. I swear to you, don't lie. And yeah, I mean, that's just it. But it's a credit to, these are the guys in the chat are the ones who keep us relevant.
It is.
So,
true.
Yeah.
Please shout your channel out, Diesel. Where can we find you, bro?
Yeah, Diesel Arsenal.
Coming up.
I'm going to do... Yeah, because it's Sunday at that game, isn't it, against United?
Yes,
so I'm going to do one Monday. All three of you guys, if you're free, you're invited. I'd love to get obviously people on, proper people, as I like to call it. Our London term, Jenny, proper people. You know what I mean? Proper, no wrong-uns. But Matt, pleasure, mate. We've spoken a few times, and it's the first time we've been on the stream. And do you know what? There's not many people I rate on YouTube, but you three, I've got to say, it's just nice to speak to like-minded people because there's so many wrong-uns on here. It winds me right up. But yeah, Jez, as always, mate, absolute pleasure. And yeah, three of you, if you're free Monday, mate, just let us know.
I'll be there Monday, man.
Yeah, I'll send the link out anyway, and if you can make it, then yeah, just let us know. But
I'll jump with you. And Ori Retro Gamer says Victoria Concordia Crescent.
Of course.
Arteta out
all day, every day. Yeah,
that is it. Tomorrow night I have got DJ coming on to do his Arsenal journey, which should be quite entertaining. So please come along and watch that. Proper Arsenal. I've done most of you boys. I think Matty, Kenny, Kenny. Diesel. Did I do your Arsenal journey?
Christ, I can't remember last week, let alone.
If I haven't, I'll tap you up for it. It's basically 15 questions, same to everybody, about your journey with the Arsenal, why you supported them, God knows why, and your love and everything, your hatred, whatever. Anyway, whatever. I'll contact.
Answer all them questions tonight, Jesse.
yeah. Anyway, we're out of here, people. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Matty, as always. Thank you, Diesel. Thank you to DJ as well when he was here. And we're out of it. Come on, you Gunners, and we'll see what happens come Sunday at the end of the day. Anyway, we're out, people. Thanks all for the super chats. Everybody that's joined in tonight. It's been legend. As always, great chat, great comments. Take care, everyone, and have a great week.
Nice.